Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus on this Tuesday afternoon, January the 23rd. I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a look at your forecast today. Pretty nice weather out there, and we're going to keep things up on the nice and kind of mild side for the next couple of days. We will briefly cool down into the 40s, but nothing too cool on the way for us, at least in the foreseeable future. The mountains, a few snow showers possible for us this afternoon. Not a big deal. And the Denver area could get a few flakes Friday morning. Also not a big deal. So let's take you out to the Loveland ski area. We're starting to see some of those snow showers develop. You can see some of those clouds off in the distance and a few flakes flying up there, looks like to me, there at the Loveland ski area. Not expecting, again, much in the way of accumulation up there, but we will get some snow up there. Here in the Denver area, no snow for us, but what we will likely be looking at is maybe a little bit of an increase in clouds later on this afternoon for us. So just one thing you might notice, but nothing coming from those clouds later on today. So mild again, highs in the 50s already for us here in the Denver area, and mountain snow showers today in a quiet pattern through midweek. 52, that's probably going to be our high for us here in Denver for today. Right now, mountains mostly in the 20s and 30s, depending on your elevation and whether you're in a valley or not. Kremling, of course, in Middle Park, one of those kind of prone places to some of those chillier temperatures. But for us here in Denver downtown, 54, TIA at 52, so it is on the mild side. Again, our high 52, again 53, 54, somewhere in the low to mid 50s. That's where we're at right now. And snow showers just kind of popping on up within the last hour or so for us in the high country, specifically for us here into the, this would be kind of the front range bounds. We're seeing some of that snowfall. And did have some earlier flakes here in Sterling, but I kind of want to take you out here into the northern front range where we are seeing some of those snow showers from Winter Park on north, so just to expect a few flakes. Again, not a ton of accumulation. It's pretty warm up there, and with the sun out, it's going to have a hard time sticking on the roads, but just maybe those highest passes, just be a little extra careful up there today, as we are still looking at some of that snowfall, and that could lead to some disruptions in a few spots, but most areas, again, minimal or no impacts. But Levada Pass, one of those places that could be a little bit slick this afternoon. But an inch or less of accumulation, that would be mainly above 10,000 feet in elevation, and any of those snow showers dissipate by about 5, 6, 7 o'clock or so tonight. And then tomorrow morning, we'll see maybe a leftover snow shower or two, but for the most part, we're done with the snow late tonight. Snowfall, again, inch or less for most spots. Not a big deal in terms of that snowfall. Patchy fog east. In fact, a dense fog advisory is now up for the far eastern plains from Washington County on east, and temperatures drop back in the mid-20s for us tonight. Sunset 5:07, by the way. We've gained more than a half hour worth of sunlight since the winter solstice a little over a month ago. And tomorrow will be near 50 degrees for us here in Denver. Mostly sunny skies for us here in town. Light winds, so we kind of continue with these kind of lighter wind speeds I've been looking at for the last little while. And that's been kind of making things probably feel a little bit nicer out there. I mentioned that earlier on this morning as we got kind of this generally troughy pattern. That means just kind of persistent low pressure. That means we got some higher humidities in place. It means you're probably seeing a bit more morning frost than usual here across eastern Colorado. But that also means that those temperatures don't drop back nearly as much. So normally we need a bit more of a breeze and some more wind to get us up into the mid to upper 50s. But we got light winds, and despite that, we are in the 50s or around 50 for today and tomorrow. Highs, again, around 50 for us tomorrow. And lots of sunshine in store, though we'll see those clouds increase a bit more significantly tomorrow afternoon. That's why I think we do cool down just a little bit with a bit more cloud cover. Now, our next storm, this will arrive for Thursday and Friday, and it's too far south for any big impacts. This looks like a system for the mountains of northern New Mexico and Arizona. That's where I think we end up with some of the more significant snowfall from the system. But we will see probably a few flakes for us here in Denver, and certainly some accumulating snow for us in the San Juans and the San Cristo Mountains of southern Colorado. Snowfall, again, not going to be all that significant, but maybe you add things up and we end up with a kind of widespread 3 to 6, 4 to 8 inch kind of snowfall for the higher terrain of southwestern Colorado, and then maybe up by the Raton Mesa on north here into Los Alamos counties, and some of those, a few high spots could end up with a few inches of snow. This would be mainly on Thursday night and Friday morning for us in southern Colorado. 7-day forecast, it's pretty quiet for the next few days, with those temperatures will be mostly in the 50s. For us, it looks like we've got a pretty good chance of getting to near 60 degrees early next week. And in fact, I'd bet on the fact that one of those days early next week we get up into the 60s. So far this month, we're running about 9 degrees below average so far from January the 1st through January the 22nd through yesterday. That puts us at our coldest start to a January since 2007 for us here in Denver. In fact, it is our second coldest start to a January since 1988, so the last 35 years. So it's been a chilly start, no doubt about it, to January and to the new year. But these numbers are about to go up significantly with those warm temps that I was just mentioning. In fact, I don't even see a single temperature down to 23. Maybe Friday we get down to 23, but really over the next 10 days or so, we're going to be well above 23 for those overnight lows. Those highs will be well into the 50s, if not the low 60s. So we got some warm weather ahead. And speaking of which, overall outlook is again the next week is a warm one for us across eastern Colorado. I think the peak of the heat would be early mid next week, and then maybe get on some action by the end of next week. It looks like California and Nevada will get a pretty strong series of storm systems first, middle of next week, and then some of that energy will probably move its way in our direction. Now, again, this is end of next week, so that, folks, is a good 10 days out. I don't have to tell you that forecasting a day or two out in Colorado is a challenge. We're talking 10 days out. We're just looking at general patterns, and general pattern would be that we're going to be warm for most of next week, but with some wet weather looking likely for the end of next week into maybe the following week, in the first weekend of the month of February. So, yeah, this is going out there a little bit, folks, but kind of want to leave you with this, that snowpack, a look at it, where snowpack is at 91% of average statewide. Just a few weeks ago at the start of the month, we're about 68% of our season-to-date average in terms of snowpack, well above that now. Southern mountains, though, could use certainly a couple of storms, and we'll get kind of a lighter storm coming up here in the next little while. So hopefully it gives you a good idea about what to expect. We've got Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in, getting ready on 9 News, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News Family Networks. Once again, I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.